sir, it's great to have you join us on the Arise News channel. So, sir, just to give us an update on the situation going on in the state at the moment. Clearly, there's been protests happening across Nigeria, and of course, the state has not been exempted. What do you have to say to the protesters who are basically clamoring for a better standard of living, better policies to be put in place for businesses to thrive?
Thank you very much. Like I reported in the morning, I told you that Imo State is very peaceful. Standing here with me is the governor of Imo State, His Excellency Senator Uzodinma. He is here to tell us the situation report from the state. Your Excellency.
Well, the state is relatively peaceful and calm, and I thank Almighty God for that, and also commend our people for keeping to the resolve not to participate in this protest, because we are aware that there is hunger. We acknowledge there is hunger. We also acknowledge there is hardship. But the point we want to drive home is that the hunger and hardship is not as a result of anything that has happened in the past 1 year. You know, particularly given that those who are really behind this protest have one time or the other been in government. Some of them have served as speakers in their various houses of assemblies for over 8 years. Some have served as ministers for over 8 years. Some have served as governors for over 8 years. And what is it that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done for the past 1 year that they think is wrong or they did differently? If anything, the man has done things better for the interest of the country. We can see how jumbo capital projects, infrastructure is being confronted under this man's administration. We have seen also the reforms he came up with. This is the first time since the creation of Nigeria that crude oil, which is the only raw material for refining products, will be sold in local currency, making it possible now for Nigerian businessmen to be able to access funds, to be able to build refineries, knowing that the raw materials will be available for them to use. So this man is rejuvenating the economy. The policies, yes, he sounded it, that initially there will be some consequences. It's not as if it's not being expected. All we need now is to explain to our people, engage our people, that there is need for us to address the problem of power, road network, railway. All these things are being addressed. All these things that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing now are things that should really recover and create an economy for our people. So, and we have said, like I likened it up yesterday, to be like a woman, the pain of a woman in a labor room. As soon as the child is delivered, the pain will stop. But Nigerians, many of them are ignorant, those who want to participate in this protest, to begin to destroy things. No explanation has been given to them. So I think that the best thing we should do is take to dialogue. Let us encourage town hall meetings. Let the presidency, the federal government, the state governments, local governments, members of the national and state assemblies participate in coming together to take the responsibility of explaining to our people, the masses, what government is doing and what government intends to do. And by so doing, the awareness will be there and the understanding level will be improved upon. And this solution will come. So it is not about the president alone. Governance is not about Mr. President. The president has a vice president. The president has a senate president. The president has ministers. The governors are there with their commissioners. The chairmen of local governments are there with their councillors. It is a collective responsibility that we must collectively come together and then address the problem of bringing Nigeria up from where it is. But whether there have been leadership failure, for the past 20-something years, of course, we've been confronted with failed leadership. In fact, if there is anything, it is within this last 1 year that we have seen a courage to confront most of those things that created cabals here and there. In the electricity power sector, you have a cabal. Oil and gas sector, there is a cabal. Everywhere there's one cabal or the other. This is the only courage we have seen that is trying to dismantle this cabal. And you think they will be happy. They will do everything to discourage the man or pull him down. The Nigerians will rise. The genuine agitation will soon start. Nigerians will rise to fight against those who are sponsoring this violent protest, particularly as it concerns an Igbo man and woman who are very enterprising people. And you know and I know that Igbos are all over the country, in Borno State, in Yobe State, in Adamawa State, in Lagos. Each time there is any small protest or violence, they become the victims. Their shops are looted, their buildings are destroyed, police stations are destroyed. Enough of that nonsense. Enough of that nonsense. We are all citizens of this country, and we must be given the opportunity of equality in every facet of life. As I speak, we met at the level of Progressive Governors Forum, and we have agreed that we are not supporting any violent protests. We need the peace and the unity of this country. We're a united country. We must rise to defend and protect the sovereignty of our nation. But we must discuss if there is any grievance anywhere. We should sit down in a room, put it down on top of a table, and analyze it and agree on what to do. And collectively we'll solve our problems. But the idea of instigating and inciting the masses and hoodlums to vandalize and destroy properties and government assets must be condemned in its entirety. Democracy does not mean madness, and the culture of our people and the tradition of our people should also be respected. From where I come from, if you are aggrieved, you report to elders, you visit town hall meetings, you raise your grievances, and we'll have a traditional and cultural way of resolving grievances. And it is also allowed, both in our religion and in the democracy we are practicing. So I think that I will once more thank God that people of Southeast have risen and condemned this protest, and they are not participating, and they did not participate.
Your Excellency, what's the magic behind that?
You see, the solution to every problem starts in a day. I think God have answered our prayers. That's what I'll tell you.
So what's the way forward?
The way forward is to tell these people to shoot their sword. Let us discuss whatever grievance they have, and let us encourage the policies of the government. We should be loyal and obedient to government, because without government there will be anarchy, and we are not interested in anarchy. We want the country, we want the unity of the country, we want the development of the country, we want the welfare of our people. We should do it in a manner that is achievable and implementable.
Thank you very much.
All right, just before the governor leaves, is it possible to get one more question in?
You want the governor to have one more question?
Yes, if possible. We'll just like to wrap this up, because he spoke about dialogue, which is very important, if you can hear me. But I would like him to speak directly to the protesters now. Yes, he might say the state is peaceful at the moment, but there have been security lapses over the last couple of hours in the state. So what does he have to say to the protesters who are hungry today? The protesters who are protesting today because of frustrations, those businesses and the enterprising nature of, the young people, the Igbo people that he has spoken about. Some of them cannot carry out these businesses because of security problems. So what does he have to say to those protesters today, while we look forward to the dialogue and the support and the collaboration that he has rightly spoken about? Of course, we still have at least 3 more years to put a lot of things in place. But for today, the people who are victims of today, what does he have to say directly to them?
Now, what I think we can do is to deploy anger management strategy. We have listened to them. They have genuine concerns. They are worried. But we should also, all of us should be worried. So I therefore call on all of us that represent the political class. Like I said earlier, we have 360 federal constituencies with members of the House of Representatives. We have 109 senators that made up the Senate. We have 2 levels of government, the federal government and the subnational government. Can we encourage town hall meetings where we can come together, discuss, because we have peculiarities. The priorities of the one particular state may not be the priorities of the other state. We will now agree on a comprehensive assessment of levels of government and their priorities, and then discuss with the people directly. And then encourage the members of the House of Representatives to open their constituency offices and take their constituency projects home. Encourage senators to open up their constituency offices and take their constituency programs home. Encourage the subnational government, which are the governors. Federal system of government acknowledges two levels of government, the federal government and the subnational government. So the state governments, really the subnational governments, also have a great role to play. Let us come together and then, guided by love of country and reason patriotically for the interest of our nation, but we must make sacrifices. So I appeal to them that are protesting to just sheath their sword, calm down. We will come down to the table. We will encourage these levels of government. It has to be through collective participation, so that we will explain things. We take also their own opinion, build it into our various programs and policies, and then take ownership of our country. The country belongs to all of us. It's not only about Mr. President or Vice President or Mr. Governor. It's about a Nigerian citizen. We should be patriotic. We will make sacrifices for the development and future of our great country. So my advice, like you have asked, is let us sit down, take to dialogue, shun violence, especially violent ones that is leading to the current looting of business premises of individuals. Well, what do we gain by destroying our people's properties and government assets? We get nothing from it. So wise counsel really is what we need now.
Well, thank you very much, Your Excellency. That's the governor of Imo State addressing the nation, telling them so what they will do concerning this protest. My name is Saturday Ochia, Arise correspondent, Owerri.